Kenya. This is TV47 Primetime News. Welcome. I'm News Release Stanley Nyiringita. Now, first off, that particular road accident in Naivasha. Will be giving you more details on that. With Dennis Jiro Pointman right there in Nakuru, just telling us what to expect. Willie, Dennis, a very good evening to you. What is the latest in that county?
All right, thank you very much, Stanley Nyiringita. It is indeed a sad evening here for residents of Naivasha, and especially those flying the Naivasha-Nairobi highway. As you can see, just behind me is a wreckage of an accident. 7 p.m. today in the evening, where a trailer that lost its brakes that was using this road actually hit this vehicle before diving into a ditch, costing the life of its driver and its conductor. Those who were aboard these vehicles are actually in critical condition, taken ill at the Naivasha District Hospital, with a myriad of questions as to why this happened and who let actually this trailer use the A104 trunk road as compared to the rules and the regulations of the Kenha, where supposedly they are supposed to be using the Mutarakwa, Maimahiu, Naivasha, and then back to the A104 after Naivasha Road. But with me, I have the disaster management officer of the sub-county of Naivasha and the MCA in charge of infrastructure, who are going to be letting us know in brief what this is all about. Madam, bring us up to speed. Just face this way. Bring us up to speed on exactly where we are in regard to today's accident.
Thank you very much. My name is Joyce Cheche, Chief Officer, Disaster Management and Humanitarian Assistance, Nakuru County. We are here at Naivasha, Kayole area, where we had a very unfortunate accident that has occurred involving a trailer and a pickup that was coming from Nairobi. Unfortunately, we have lost life, and we are yet to know the exact number of those who have injured, those who have died. So what we don't understand is how that big trailer used this road. We are yet to know which authority were they using, so that now they can. They were not able to use Maimahiu road and to use this road. I understand that the trailer lost brake all the way from Kinongi, and when it reached around this area, it was not able to control the vehicles and it hit the pickup. We managed to put out the fire. Our firemen were here on time, but unfortunately we lost life. Our ambulances came here. They have taken patient to the hospital. Those who have been injured, we are yet to know exactly the number of people who are dead and the number who are injured. But our team at the Naivasha Sub-County Hospital and at Naivasha Police Station to know the exact number of those who are died and those who are in hospital.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, madam, for your time. Bring us up to speed, sir. We are made to understand that you are in charge of road and infrastructure in the assembly. Yeah. So, how comes that we have trailers using this road and with such incidents?
Okay, thank you. My name is Francis Mungai Kuria. I'm in charge of road, public works and infrastructure in the county. So sad that we have experienced a bad accident here involving a trailer that was coming from the port of Mombasa heading to the northern corridor. And it's unfortunately, or it's like the driver of the trailer was not aware of this road very well. The reason behind why I say this, I passed this trailer along Kinare Road, and it has created some traffic. I stopped around flyover, and then I later came to find it has caused the accident here. It's somehow the driver, why I say the driver was not very well aware of this road. The body cargo has loaded heavy products, that is the building materials and some machines. And it seems as the road is so steep, the brakes were unable to control the weight that was on the body cargo, of which when it was approaching the Naivas Mall, it was able to hit this pickup on the backside, of which the trailer lost control, and unfortunately it fell into the ditch 500 meters just where the bus from Pumwani caused the accident. And if by any chances this truck was unable to pass where it has caused this accident, we could have been talking another story, because it could have caused more dangers ahead.
So as we wind up, because of the essence of time,
sure,
what should be done on this road? It is actually very fatal, bearing in mind that this is a road that approaches the escarpment and down to the Rift Valley.
Okay, we are aware that this road, there have been proposals that it's going to be upgraded to a dual carriageway. So number one, we need the expansion of this road, of which we are aware, but we don't know when the work is going to commence. We need to expand this road such that when the heavy trucks that are coming from Nairobi heading to Nakuru, in such an instance, the truck can use the inside rail and it will not cause the accident. So we are appealing to the government to fasten this process of starting this road so that we can widen up. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
And indeed, gracing this opportunity to bring us up to speed on what it is. Stanley, there you got it. What happened? Actually, we have the locals just behind me who witnessed what happened here, but at least we have got the authority there speaking on what happened. But the fire brigade was here in time to ensure that they have subdued any advent of fire incident that had actually shown up, because this vehicle was carrying some flammables, that is paint that is just flammable. And as you have heard there, it is just a road where meters from here we had the Pwani accident just months back, and there is a need to ensure that this road is expanded and given high priority, especially on the 22-kilometer stretch from the flyover all the way to Delamere, which is actually about 25 kilometers, that there is need to ensure that it is expanded to avert such crisis as it happened on the other side of Salga. That is it from me here in Naivasha. Stanley Nyeringita. I take it back to you in our studios in the capital city.
And thank you for that, Willie Dennis, Jiro Appointment in Naivasha, just updating us on that accident that happened around 7 p.m. We'll be following up on that from Naivasha and giving you updates as soon as they occur. Let's cross over to matters health now. And over 100,000 community health promoters will laugh all the way to the bank after the national government on Friday officially launched the commencement of the payment of their monthly stipends. And as Elizabeth Atenuna reports, governors have been urged to complement the national government's efforts and fulfill the end of the bargain by contributing the 50% needed to complete their monthly stipends.
Effective today, Friday, the 16th of February 2024, the 107,000 community health promoters from different parts of the country will be receiving 5,000 Kenya shillings monthly stipend, as was promised during the launch of the program on the 20th of October 2023.
Yani kama CHP niko tu na furaha kabisa, hata nataka tu nitoke hapa, yani niende tuka shopping sasa.
Tulikuwa tunapitia magumu, juu unaweza enda mahali kwa household, huna hata saa zingine tunatumia fare, huna.
Ilikuwa imebaki nini? Stipend, si ndio? Do tu ndio ilikuwa imebaki. Sasa leo ndio ile siku.
Because of this outstanding performance that we have reached 2.7 million households since the president launched the community health program in October last year.
The payment of the monthly stipend is a shared responsibility between the national and county governments, where both levels of government are required to contribute 50% each. This translates to a commitment of 3 billion Kenya shillings from the national government. However, it is quite evident that governors are yet to kickstart their contributions, which is raising more questions than answers.
We want to send a passionate plea to our governors to very quickly also organize their part of the stipend.
Nao pia wajikakamue sababu tukaanda chini zao, tunafanya under county governments.
The community health promoters are said to be instrumental in the attainment of primary health care, which encompasses promotive, preventive, curative and rehabilitative services through community collaboration.
A lot of work in the community. Imagine kubeba mgonjwa bedridden, let me say like a defaulter wa ARVs.
On the 25th of September 2023, President William Ruto led the flagging off of the CHP kits at Uhuru Park in Nairobi. The kits are aimed at ensuring that the CHPs do not face any hardship while attending to the 100 households assigned to each of them.
Tumeona kazi imekuwa rahisi because mbeleni hapa tu kuaga na those commodities za kupima, za kufanya nini. So ilikuwaga tu ukipata ni kurifa.
1.56 million Kenyans have been screened for diabetes from the comfort of their homes.
Excellency, we promised them that we are going to give them gadgets. Simu. Na si simu ya hivi. Si ya kufinya kuchosha vidole. Simu ya kisasa.
All the funds that were required to be provided to the CHPs, they are all with them.
Community health promoters are tasked with sensitizing the community on the importance of quality health services, providing community disease surveillance, maintaining a register of members in all households, and monitoring the rehabilitation and integration of persons with mental illness into the community. After 4 months, the over 107,000 community health promoters scattered across the country can now breathe a sigh of relief following the official launch of the payments of the monthly stipends. Elizabeth Atieno, TV47, Nairobi.
Thank you, Liz, for that. From health to politics, and tonight, Azimio principals led by Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka endorsed coalition leader Raila Odinga's bid for the Africa Union Commission chairmanship. In a joint statement, the leaders said Odinga is qualified for the top job, having served as AU's envoy on infrastructure, terming him as a bridge builder among African states whose win will be a win for Kenya. And as Apollo Kamau reports, Raila has flown to Germany as he kickstarts his campaign on a global stage.
In a show of unity despite an anticipated shake-up in the country's political landscape, Azimio coalition principals led by Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka endorsed coalition leader Raila Odinga's bid for the African Union Commission chairmanship, terming him a bridge builder who will unify AU member states as a Pan-Africanist.
As Azimio coalition, we welcome and congratulate our party leader for the bold step of putting his name forward for consideration of this most important role to the African continent and its people. We fully support his decision and we shall back his candidature to our fullest capacity.
With fears rife on the future of Azimio, with the imminent exit of Odinga from active politics if he backs the AU job early next year, the principals who refuse to take questions say the coalition remains united and focused amid reports of a Kalonzo Musyoka, Eugene Wamalwa joint ticket in the 2027 polls, despite a section of the principals holding reservations on the issue.
Azimio remains focused and united on issues close to the people, and we give assurance of our commitment to always address their concerns.
Odinga, who is away in Berlin, Germany, where he is expected to give a speech this coming Sunday on the future of democracy, technology and mankind, is also on a lobbying tour, according to his allies.
We call on all our compatriots to give bipartisan support and ensure that Mr. Odinga's bid is successful. Mr. Odinga's win will be a win for Kenya, the region, and indeed the continent.
Foreign Affairs Cabinet Secretary Korir Sing'oei while responding to Odinga's AU bid announcement on his X account, became the first top government official to publicly declare the government will nominate Odinga for the AU post. Sing'oei said, and I quote, "We are on standby to support this quest of a well-deserving national." Cabinet Secretary Moses Kuria also posted pictures of himself with Odinga, describing him as the incoming chair of the African Union Commission. President William Ruto, who will be attending the 37th African Union Head of States and Government Summit in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia this weekend, is expected to lobby fellow African heads of state to back Kenya's nominee to represent East Africa. Apul Kamau, TV47.
A nationwide crackdown on illegal brews and breweries will begin following directives of Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki to all the 47 counties. He has vowed that this matter will be dealt with ruthlessly in similar way to terrorism and banditry. Now, this coming at a time when where in Kangai village, Kirinyaga County, the number of those dead due to this illegal alcohol has increased to 20. Sheila Chelangat tells us more.
The government is going to declare a countrywide operation on all areas of our country where our people have been imprisoned by the consumption of dangerous drinks and alcoholic drinks. And that operation will begin immediately.
This directive by Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki came after one more person in Kangai, Kirinyaga County, was reported to have gone blind after consuming illegal brew. The man was rushed to Kerugoya Referral Hospital in a critical condition. It is alleged he took the brew early Friday morning. This incident angered these residents who accused security personnel for alleged negligence in dealing with the menace of illegal brews. So far, about 20 people in this village have died due to the brew. The wish for residents here is for these orders by CS Kindiki to be effected.
This threat of poisonous alcohol and the consumption of narcotic drugs is a serious threat on the same level as terrorism and banditry.
John Murithi, the owner of the California bar associated with the Kangai village deaths, continues to be detained at the Kiamashiri police station as investigations on the matter wraps up. However, CS Kindiki says,
"We are not looking at routine charges about operating without licenses and other misdemeanors. We are looking at putting a proper, serious case, watertight, that this fellow will never know freedom again."
Kindiki has also made a raft of changes on the security positions in the area.
We have also taken measures and requested the officer commanding police stations in the affected areas also to leave. And the reason we have done this is because, first and foremost, we will conduct an impartial inquiry to find out exactly what happened.
The memorial service of 17 people who died a few weeks ago after consuming the illegal brew was held today in the Kangai area, and their funeral is slated for tomorrow. Sheila Chelangat for TV47.
Thank you, Sheila. Now to the corridors of justice, where Chief Justice Martha Koome has condemned the disobedience of court orders, specifically touching on the War Memorial Hospital, Nakuru. In a statement just this evening, Koome, who is also the chairperson of the Judicial Service Commission, GSC, has hit out the threats and intimidation against judicial officers. George Maringa unpacks this for us.
The ongoing wars at the War Memorial Hospital, Nakuru, have caught the attention of the judiciary. Once again, Chief Justice Martha Koome, who is also chairperson of the Judicial Service Commission JSC, has come out to call out the disobedience of court orders. In a statement this evening, Koome underscored the role of the Judicial Service Commission JSC, which is constitutionally mandated to advise the government on the efficient, effective and transparent administration of justice. According to Koome, in light of this mandate, the JSC is alarmed by the frequent cases of disregard of the rule of law and the deployment of force and intimidation to interfere with the execution or observance of court orders. In reference to the Nakuru matter, Koome says the JSC is especially disturbed by the events in Nakuru County, where assailants have occupied the Nakuru War Memorial Hospital, defying court orders. The Commission observed with concern the failure by law enforcement officers in ensuring that court orders are obeyed. The country's 15th Chief Justice has further noted that these ongoing threats, violent interference and failure by the police to restore order and assure security has resulted in 2 judges recusing themselves from hearing the case. The fact that the judges have had to recuse themselves from handling the matter due to constant intimidation lowers the dignity of the court and affects the administration of justice. This is a matter of concern to the JSC and a threat to the rule of law. The CJ did not stop there. In addition, the Commission strongly condemns the attack on Nakuru-based lawyers who peacefully protested against the disregard of court orders on Thursday, 16th February 2024. According to Koome, they note with dismay that police officers stood on guard and watched as the lawyers were attacked. The Commission notes that the rule of law is crucial in a functioning democracy and calls for strict adherence to the Constitution. For weeks now, the hospital has remained deserted despite several court orders directing the hospital staff be allowed back to the facility and carry out their services without interference. Who will blink first? Time will tell. George Maringa, TV47, Nairobi.
Right, speaking of blinking, let's go to who is blinking in Meru. And there was a commotion at Meru County Parliament as certain ward representatives were stopped by police officers from speaking to reporters inside the Meru Parliament building. Now, the ward representatives, led by Mutungu, member of County Assembly Evans Bawira, have accused the Speaker of Parliament, Ayubundi, of the plight, saying this is happening because of the support to the Meru Governor, Kawira Mwangaza. There has been war between the Meru Governor and the 59 Meru MCAs. The ward representatives accused the governor of going against the laws of Meru Assembly.
Lakini la kushangaza ni kwamba ile impunity na ile dictatorship tuliona siku ya Jumanne, ambapo sisi tuliweza kutimuliwa katika kamati za mbunge, katika aswa kamati ile inatengeneza budget inaitwa budget committee, ile ingine ya PAC na ile ya implementation ambazo ni select committees, imeendelea hata siku ya leo. Sababu sisi tumeambiwa ya kwamba hatuwezi ingia katika bunge na hatuwezi ongea na wanahabari tukiwa katika bunge letu la Meru. Kwa hivyo sisi tumetojitokeza kuambia wa Meru na kuambia wananchi wa Kenya ya kwamba shinda ya Meru haiko katika gavana wa Meru. Sababu gavana wa Meru alisema ya kwamba yeye yuko tayari kufanya kazi na yeyote yule ambaye amechaguliwa. Na sisi tumeona hawa MCAs ambao wanatufukuza sababu mradi wa MTF unaendelea kwa kulima wa kutengeneza barabara za Meru. Tumeshangaa sana ya kwamba wao wanaenda kundadia hizo graders na machines huko mashinani, wayasu wakikuja katika bunge wanataka kusema ya kwamba sisi hatutaki kufanya kazi na gavana. Kwa hivyo sisi tunauliza, whose interest is Meru County Assembly protecting?
Shangaza ni kwamba kila mmoja alienda ofisi ya governor aliweza kutolewa komiti zote na akaweza kutolewa any responsibility he or she is holding in this county assembly of Meru.
Swali letu lingine ni kuwa ni nani tumekosea? Mimi kama mwana Jubilee sijapigiwa simu kutoka Nairobi niambiwe nisiunge governor mkono. Na nafikiria pia wanauda hawajapigiwa simu waambiwa wasiunge governor mkono. So shida yetu kwa kuunga governor mkono, shida iko wapi?
Right, and just also to update you on that particular bit of Mary, we'll be updating that, as of tomorrow, and just tell you what is happening. Also, an update: President William Ruto will be heading left for Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, this afternoon for the 37th Africa Union Summit of Heads of State and Government. The theme of the summit is on building resilient education systems for Africa's 21st century human capital. And basically, another story we'll be following upon that President William Ruto will speak on the education inequalities that have left 98 million children in Africa without access to schooling. In his capacity as the chair of the Committee of African Heads of State and Government on Climate Change, the president will also deliver a report on the strides the continent has made in mitigating the climate crisis. This includes the Nairobi Declaration, agreed upon during the first ever Africa Climate Summit in Nairobi last September. To sports news now, the post-mortem findings of the world marathon record holder Kevin Kiptum are yet to be released 5 days following a grisly road accident in Elgeyo Marakwet County. However, pathologist Dr. Benson Mashari revealed the autopsy report of Kitum's coach, Gervais Hakizimana, which he says were caused by severe head injuries consistent with motor vehicle road accidents. The family of the coach registered their reservations about the findings and asked for thorough investigations. At the same time, the lady who survived the road accident recorded a statement at the Iten police station. Sharon Koskei, who was treated and discharged after the Monday crash, made a brief recollection of events and is expected to continue assisting the police with investigations.
He sustained very serious fractures within the skull, and these fractures were both on the left and also on the right, and also on the roof, what we call the orbital roof, where we have the eyes, we have a roof there. So this fracture had gone all the way left to the right and also extending to the skull base. Anytime we have a fracture extending to the skull base, that's a very severe injury.
We are requesting the government of Kenya, for us we are about to leave and take the body, but we are requesting the government of Kenya to do thorough investigations, because we can really say that we are not satisfied by this, the information we got from everything that we saw.
We were able to record a statement of Sharon Koskei, who happened to be in company of the duo. In her statement, she stated that during the time of that accident, she saw the vehicle moving out of the road and alerted the driver, the late Kelvin Kiptum. He was unable to control the vehicle and thereby resulting to the accident.
Right, and for a short break, when we come back telling you all about artificial intelligence and everything about it. Stick around for that.
Na safari hii katika Mfahamu Kiongozi tutakuletea viongozi aina mbalimbali.
Nikuwe na Nisani kama 10 na pia nikuwe menua minibus. Minibus niko niwa.
Kushinda unaangalia simu ya mzee.
soma Biblia ama ingia kwa washroom ujisugue mpaka nimetoa hivi.
I don't know whether any of my children would want to get into the political field. Sijajua bado.
Kila Alhamisi saa 1:30 kuendelea.
Join us on a journey through the concrete jungles and rising skylines, where every beam, every nail tells a story of progress and vision.
In every aspect of life, you know, you have to look at several dynamics.
From groundbreaking.
Nowadays with the tech, you can check on different websites or you check online and you can see some inspiration. So at least that one would be a direction already. I'll know like what kind of style you're going for.
To finishing touches, witness the dedication of the hard-working teams who bring these ambitious dreams to reality. The Realtor, Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m.
Na safari hii katika Mfahamu Kiongozi tutakuletea viongozi aina mbalimbali.
Nikuwe na Nisani kama 10 na pia nikuwe menua minibus. Minibus niko niwa.
Kushinda unaangalia simu ya mzee, soma Biblia ama ingia kwa washroom ujisugue mpaka nimetoa hivi.
I don't know whether any of my children would want to get in.
All right, welcome back. Let's get disruptive for you. And recently, there has been a dispute between the Music Corporate Society of Kenya, MCSK, and several Kenyan artists regarding fair compensation for their work. However, amidst this contention, a promising development has emerged for artists seeking fair compensation for their music. A Kenyan music distribution startup, Mdundo, is making headlines by projecting an unprecedented payout of about $1.5 million US dollars, or 225,750,000 Kenyan shillings in royalties to artists for the 2023-2024 period. Established in Kenya in 2013, Mdundo has rapidly evolved into Africa's premier pan-African music service dedicated to facilitating easy and legal music distribution across the continent. OpenAI, the creator of ChatGPT has introduced a groundbreaking advancement in artificial intelligence, a text-to-video model named Sora, sparking astonishment across online communities. Described as possessing a deep understanding of language, Sora has the capability to generate videos featuring compelling characters that express vibrant emotions, as highlighted in OpenAI's recent blog post during a showcase event hosted by OpenAI CEO Sam Altman. On X, users were invited to suggest prompts for Sora, resulting in the creation of realistic videos that captivated audiences. Examples included scenes featuring two golden retrievers podcasting atop mountain and marine animals engaging in a bicycle race over the ocean surface. The hyper-realistic quality of the videos evoked stunned reactions across social media platforms, with users hailing the results as quote-unquote out of this world and labeling Sora as a game changer. However, amidst this inspiring demonstrations, concerns regarding potential risks surfaced, particularly in light of the upcoming highly anticipated elections worldwide, including the US presidential election in November. In response to these apprehensions, OpenAI reassured the public in their blog post, emphasizing their commitment to safety. The organization outlined several crucial safety measures that will be implemented before Sora's release to the general public. Meanwhile, following a cabinet session led by President William Ruto at State House this week, the national government has sanctioned the utilization of the e-Citizen for school fee payments across all education levels, including primary, secondary, tertiary and university. The approval coincides with the High Court decision to extend injunctions preventing the government from mandating schools and educational institutions to utilize the e-Citizen platform for fee levy payments. The government, on the other hand, wants all services moved online and be supported by the platform. Eric Muneni has a chart. The system's founder, software and developer James Ayugi. Take a look.
Thank you for staying with us. Now, over the past few days, there has been significant discussion surrounding the government's initiative to transition all its services to the e-Citizen platform, where users can now pay for the services through a single pay bill number. Tonight, we aim to delve deeper into this topic to better comprehend the system, including its strengths and vulnerabilities. Joining us to shed light on this matter is Mr. James Ayugi from Webmasters, a company actively involved in the partnership with e-Citizen platform. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Let's cancel the noise tonight. Why do you think there's so much noise regarding migrating some very critical services to the e-Citizen platform?
Every time when there's migration, of course, there's disruptions. When you don't handle change management well, then you will have unsatisfied customers. In the latest events is the change that was happening at NTSA. And of course, there was not enough sensitization and training. And for that specific reason, we had issues. But these are issues that have been experienced before. And they've been resolved, most of them.
Okay.
So most of this noise has been mostly from the new transition,
okay,
from the previous systems that were powering NTSA to a more integrated ecosystem where you only need one account, but you can access everything within NTSA services.
And there's no better person to talk about this apart from you, because you founded e-Registry. Kindly walk us through the inception of the e-Citizen platform from when it was called e-Registry all the way to now, where it is.
Back in 2008, there was a project by Ease of Doing Business, being funded by the World Bank.
Okay.
And it was a platform where businesses will be able to access all information about the licenses they'll need for a specific business activity. So during those times, it was pretty much like a directory. But during the launch, there was need for a more interactive transactional platform, because guys in the room were like, after downloading, what happens? We need to still submit these forms manually.
Okay.
So it was more of, there was need from the customers who really wanted to transact electronically with the government other than just downloading the forms. So that is what gave birth to the idea to develop a transactional registry, which later on became the e-Citizen.
Okay, so let's go to the specifics. Which specific challenges were you aiming to address then?
At that particular time, it was first information. When businesses wanted to, let's say, example, get a license, there were fake licenses and receipts being issued out there.
Okay.
So we wanted to make it easier for you to know this is the license that you need and this is the amount. So transparency, bringing in transparency. Number two, there was accountability issues. When it came to manual payments, there was so many pilferage within government, and we wanted, of course, a way in which we can bring in transparency in government operations.
Okay.
So, and you remember during those days, there used to be challenges and long queues when you are even just going to get a service like renewing your driver's license. So all this actually is what now attributed to us creating this platform that will make life easier for the citizens, including ourselves, and of course for the government. So that's pretty much what was our drive at that particular time.
And the reason why we're having this conversation today is because recently there have been delays in processing payments on the system. Some critical, services like healthcare have been hit hard. Patients going home without treatment because of the delays. What is happening, or what can be done? And at this point, it's important to say, rather, that you're not speaking officially on behalf of the platform, but you know how it works. So what could be the reason for that?
Remember, this platform serves so many transactions and so many people per second. And even services like ferry, where you are paying micro amounts and you're able to move. In most cases, it's usually human error, where you're giving an account number and you're putting in a wrong account number or a wrong account amount. So that's usually where the issue comes in. But it is not accurate to say that there is delays of payment.
You're saying human error on the part of the users?
That's
not
correct.
the back end of the system?
Not the back end of the system. The system is well empowered and it's robust enough to handle so many transactions per second. Number two, there are third-party applications. By third-party, I mean the choice of payment channel. And in most cases, people use M-Pesa, and they may use other channels too. So when there are downtimes within those platforms, the e-citizen does not receive the notification. When it doesn't get notification, that transaction cannot be verified by the accounting officer. So these are some of the reasons why you may find isolated cases. And this we are talking about less than 1%. And this is less than 1% because there are so many transactions that happen and they are all successful. And when there are issues related to third-party or integrations, there might be the cause.
Okay. Although you feel some bankers and motor vehicle dealers would disagree with you on that. But let's talk about something else. There's a lot of talk about the e-citizen access fee. A lot of people say it is unfair. How are the fees determined?
In the past, before you get a service, you'll move from one point to another. And some guys even booked a hotel for them just to register a company. We had incidences where it was very costly for a customer to just access even a manual government service. First, time. Second, very costly. And it was also they were also being charged by the banks when you're using banking infrastructure for payment of government services. So 50 shillings that was introduced from the pilot was as it was a cheaper option, but also it was determined by the fact that there were other costs associated with running the system, like SMSs and hosting and support, that at that time it was not budgeted for. So it was introduced as a convenience fee because first it is cheaper and you can be able to do all those, apply for government services from your home. But later on now, the government now gazetted it, and they're the ones who are, they've created different classifications based on the amount that you're paying, because there were complaints that I'm paying for a service that is 40 shillings and I'm paying 50 shillings. So I think the government had, and they changed the tariff so that it is more affordable and more sustainable.
All right.
Yes.
Now let's talk about user data. We have the Data Protection Act. The law is very clear on how data is handled and processed. What measures have been taken to ensure that the system does not allow for user data to be misused? The security and privacy of user data is actually prioritized.
First, the whole ecosystem, including all the players in the ecosystem, have to get the data handler license and certificate. And there is usually a training on how you handle user data when you're developing the system, and what you expose and when to expose. So limiting what you capture in terms of an identifier of an individual is one of the ways in which you protect the user. And number two, data at rest. We encrypt data at rest. So when different officers are accessing or are serving citizens, there is very few information about an individual that can be able, they can be able to access. So these are all guided by the Data Protection Laws and Act, and the all e-citizen is compliant. Yes.
So you are assuring us that there can never be identity theft or fraud within the system?
Identity theft is like collusion, and there might be few instances, but when you look at why you will, because we went through those scenarios, so why will I steal your identity? One, probably I want to renew your driver's license, or I want to pay for your fees or your taxes. So we looked at the reasons why someone will want to steal your identity and use it on a citizen. The damages were very minimal. But in places where there's risks, we introduced something called OTP, just to make sure that it is you who's logging in every time you access government services. So that's how we try and protect, just to make sure, just like the way when you log into your internet banking, you're able to move any amount of money just via OTP. That's pretty much similar. It's just a similar practice. And to add a layer of security, there is digital signatures and digital ID that will now even do facial identification, and you can be able to access government services just using your face or fingerprint, other than having to remember a password and all those kind of things. So these are things that currently have been implemented, but have been paused due to certain legal restrictions until they are resolved.
Okay, so in 2023, last year, in July, the government admitted that there had been a cyber attack on the portal, meaning it is vulnerable to cyber attacks. Is it really safe? From where you sit, is it really safe to move all the critical services on the portal without a backup plan?
There is backup plan, and but a cyber attack can be to any company. You've seen in the past where MasterCard have been attacked. We've seen situations where M-Pesa was also attacked during the same time. We've seen banks were also attacked during those times. Okay. So there is different type of cyber attacks. There is the one that happened is called denial of service attack.
Okay.
This is where you get artificial traffic to your server, denying legitimate users access to the services. Now also sometimes bringing down your server infrastructure, but they've not yet gotten access to your platform.
All right.
So there are so many officers, cybersecurity experts, and other government officers, both within private sector and within the government agencies, whose work is just to protect the data and the system every single day. And they're doing real-time monitoring. So any suspicious activities are blocked in advance. And I believe for the last 10 years, we've never had an incident where there was a breach and someone managed to steal or access citizens' data.
Okay, in the interest of time, and as we wrap this up, could you kindly take us through, very briefly, the levels of support that the platform has?
All the different government departments are in charge of their own support. They offer level 1 support. So when you access their platforms, you'll see a phone number to call.
Okay.
When you have issues, you call them. They're able to log into their backend and issue support. That's level 1. Level 2, when they have incidents or issues related to payments, it is addressed again through the service provider. And then now, through ICT Authority, we get issues when were related to solution or technical issues, where there is a downtime and there is bugs that have been reported. So we are able to, now that's called level 3, to come in and fix a bug, push it back to ICT Authority, who are now in charge of managing the whole hosting environment and publishing it.
Well, thank you so much for your time, James Ayugi.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure. Hope we have this conversation in the near future again.
We'll have it anytime.
Well, thank you. That is James Ayugi, the founder of e-Registry, which is now e-Citizen. And that's all we had for you tonight on this edition of Disruptive Fridays. Good night.
Well, Well, in case you had some questions on matters eCitizen, I hope you've had them answered. Chat there by James Oyuke, software developer, pre-recorded interview with Eric Munene. After this, as we wrap it up, remember Wabebe Experience coming up, and Claudia Nasibwa will be gracing your screens right here. And definitely, obviously expect is 8 and DJ Mo, and Pia Willie Paul, some good vibes right there. I'm usually Stanley Nyoringeta. Catherine Simoloi was on the sign language interpretation. Until next time, Kwaheri.